Hi guys, what's up? This is Alasa Mohammed. Welcome to Online Clinic. If you are new here, try to subscribe. After subscribing, click on the bell icon so you get updated on dropping a video. Welcome to the clinic. Now today we're talking about something that we know about, something that is very important and also interesting. So please try to follow us to the end of the video. Now we're talking about genotype and sickle cell anemia, about what sickle cell, how it comes about, how you can prevent it, and the symptoms that comes with sickle cell anemia, especially in children. But before we get into the video, let's get some words from solving medical conditions. Hello, this is Alasa Mohammed, soliciting for donation and sponsoring of bringing the clinic to your doorstep, which is a solving medical condition initiative, which is in form of a health conference where we have health seminars and also a comprehensive body checkup for all participants. We are asking and begging for sponsorship and donation towards this program because we are trying to bring the clinic to the doorstep of people that cannot actually afford it, because the economic situation in the country now is not friendly and people don't take care of their health because they think of taking of themselves in terms of eating and clothing instead of their health. So their health is being at a detriment. So that is why we're trying to bring the clinic to their doorstep so this can actually balance their health and their livelihood. Please and please help in donating, sponsoring, and sharing this video to your friends and family to help. Thank you very much. Link to donation or sponsoring will be below on the description on this video. Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, please and please, bringing the clinic to your doorstep is just around the corner. We need donations, we need sponsors in order to help take the clinic to people that actually need this opportunity. Okay, so let's get into the video now. Sickle cell anemia is a blood genetic disorder. Now, how does it come about? But first of all, you need to know what genetic means. Genetic simply means the material or what makes you who you are. From your chromosome, your DNA, that's how you get your genes. Okay, genes are genetics are like got it from genes, genetic and genotypes. You understand? Now, sickle cell anemia actually means when a person's red blood cell is sickled, like, because the normal red blood cell is circular in shape, but this one, there's what they call hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is actually the protein that helps in trapping or bounding red blood cells, that help in bounding oxygen to the red blood cells. Now, in this red blood cell, this hemoglobin, it's normally spherical or circular in shape, but a person having sickle cell anemia, it actually sickled, like the name implied, or like round but not too round, you can see, and it's sickle, and it makes movement of these blood cells into the blood vessel. It makes it so difficult. Now, what happens when your body cannot actually access enough oxygen because the red blood cell bringing this oxygen via the hemoglobin cannot pass through some part of your blood vessels, maybe because they are too thin or because they are in the region of a joint area where you have to it's going round a bone or a muscle. So what happens now? As I said earlier, I told you the normal red blood cell is spherical in shape, the hemoglobin, so it can actually change its shapes and position when it's trying to go into thin thin blood vessels. But in a sickle cell red blood cell, it is actually rigid. It cannot be. It's not easily. It's not flexible. So going through thin blood cell thin vessels is very difficult. So what happens? They're what they call painful episodes. Now, if you have red blood cell clustered in, let's say for example, because this part of your arm, you have a joint here, and for your red blood cell to pass through, and because of the vessels are kind of thin, they might not be able to go through. So you have a lot of red blood cell clustered there because they cannot go through. Now in that region, you start having a lot of pains, and the pains most times they are not bearable. Then also someone can go through what's called fatigue and weaknesses. Now what happens now, the main importance of the red blood cell, it helps in transporting oxygen which is trapped by the hemoglobin. Now if this red blood cell cannot get to some muscles and some parts in your body will not have enough energy to move, because also your muscles and your other organs in your body actually need this oxygen to function. So if you have reduced amount of oxygen, then you feel tired, or the person might feel tired and weak. Then other things, it can also lead to jaundice. Now when jaundice, one of the symptoms of jaundice is yellowness of the body and also the eyes. Now one of the causes of jaundice is when you have excessive breakdown of red blood cell. Now remember, this red blood cell cannot pass through this thin or tight vessels. What happens? They start breaking down and they start destructing, and when they start degrading, then that can lead to jaundice, and if it's not taken care of properly, it can lead to detriment of the person or the patient. Now next one is swollenness, or the swelling of the hand and the feet. Now the hands and the feet, if you don't have if you have clustered red blood cell or blockage of the vessels from on the hand and the feet, you cannot have a good flow of blood to that area. First, they are going to start like getting whitish, and they start getting swollen, especially the hands and the feet, and that can be so painful and unbearable. Then the next one is what? Increase in infection, or increase in body infection, because in your body you have your body defense mechanism, which are your white blood cell, but also your spleen plays an important role in terms of fighting off this infection. But if you don't have enough blood flow to your spleen also, that can reduce its potency or also destroy the spleen, and that will lead to infection in the patient, because your spleen is not there to help protect the body. The next one is delayed in growth and puberty. Now just like plant, humans also, one of the main ingredient, or the main thing you need to grow is oxygen. Now the only way you get oxygen to your body is what? Through respiration. You take in oxygen, but in your lungs, your red blood cell are there waiting to trap this oxygen via the hemoglobin to take them to all parts of the body. So your blood, your tissue, your organs, your system can have this oxygen to start growing. But if you don't have enough of these of oxygen, then you have the cause stunted growth. The person doesn't grow well. The person might be age of 20 and be looking like the age of 10, because of you don't have proper growth. Still boils down to the blood, the red blood cell being sickled. Then or the next one, it can lead to stroke. Now what is stroke? Stroke happens in the brain when the brain doesn't have adequate supply of oxygen or blood. It can lead to stroke, and the blood vessels in the veins are very tiny. They are not too big compared to other parts of the body. So in such conditions, it's very difficult for the red blood cell to find its way through the blood vessels from the brain to supply them oxygen and blood. So if the brain is deprived from blood and oxygen, it leads to stroke, which can actually lead to the person being in a wheelchair or the death of the patient. Now, coming back to what causes sickle cell anemia. Now, I told you it's actually a genetical abnormality in the blood. Now, all humans are made of genes, and we are made of two. You have two coming together to make a person. So during reproduction, the father gives his gene and the mother gives her gene to make the person via chromosome. We have the man brings his 23, and you have the chromosome for the full person. Now, if a man is a carrier of this sickle cell, and a woman also is a carrier of this sickle cell, and during the time of donation, during intercourse, they actually donate their carrier gene, and the man donate his carrier gene, then the child will be a sickle cell patient. Now, we have different kind of genotype. We have the AA, we have the AS, we have the SS, we have the other ones which are not the common one, which is the AC and SC. But the common one we're going to talk about today is the one we know about, which is the AA, AS, and SS. Now, being an AA person, it means you are not a carrier of this sickle cell, but having the sickle cell gene is the S gene. So if you are an AS person, you are not a sickle cell person, but you carry this gene. So when it gets time for reproduction, the time to get married, or time to start to have a family, it is important to be careful in getting a partner who doesn't have this carrier gene. Because if your partner is having this carrier gene and you're also having this carrier gene, there's always a possibility for you to have a child who will be having the sickle cell anemia. So it is very important. One of the most important things to do before marriage, or before you even start to get serious with your partner, is to know their genotype and also know your genotype. And the idea is not just to know it just once. You should at least do it 2-3 times in different establishments, so you can be sure of your genotype. Because all these symptoms I've mentioned, it will be so bad after going through 9 months of being pregnant and you have given birth to a beautiful baby, and you see your baby suffering and going through all the symptoms I've mentioned, which at the end can in most cases lead to the death of the child. So so instead of going through all this, it can be prevented. How can it be prevented? First, know your genotype today. Then 2, when picking a partner, make sure you are not picking a partner that is having this sickle cell, that is not a carrier. With this, you can prevent sickle cell. Now, sickle cell is a fast growing thing in the community, and people going through this, they need our support, you understand? So there are establishments that can actually help kids that are sickle cell, and can help them have a better life in terms of reducing the painful episodes and all the symptoms. But from the root of the problem, we can prevent it, which is trying not to have a partner that is a carrier. I hope this video has been okay, or you like it. If you like this video, kindly like, share with your friends and family. There are a lot of persons that need to hear this, so kindly share with them. And please don't forget, bringing the clean to your doorstep is coming up on the 26th of July. We need donations, we need support, and at the description of this video, we are going to have the link for donation also. As you do that, God bless you. Thank you very much. See you in our next video. Bye bye.